Okay, so with cream makeup, and this is going to come up with your customers too, we are not used to it. We are used to the liquid that we put all over, right? So when we put makeup on our face, right, and it's actually like it melts into our skin and it's in our pores, like it's different than liquid foundation. So it's very common if we put on a shade on our face and we are not getting the coverage we want, or it's funky, or it's textured, or it's weird, it's usually just the wrong shade, right? So your makeup should not match your skin when you put it on your face. It should not match exactly. It should be a tad bit darker, maybe a little more yellow, because whenever you do that finger swatch on your face and you go to blend it and it starts to spread out, it gets more sheer as it spreads. And so then it just kind of melts in, right? And so we don't have that orange line or anything like that. Now, if it's too dark, then obviously you'll have that line. So we want to make sure it's not too dark, but it is very likely that if there's a texture, or if there's a situation you're like, this is gross, or it's too tacky or too sticky, there's too much. And then if you use less, then you can't see it, then you just have the wrong shade. So a lot of the times, most issues when it comes to the makeup can be resolved with a different shade. That's it. Cassie, what were you experiencing on yours?
So this is the one that I used that I said did not go well for me.
Yeah, the detail brush.
I do not have the 3D one. That did not come with my stuff.
Do you full coverage or lighter coverage?
Oh, I wanted full because, I have the blemishes. I have this mole that I don't love. It's newer. And then the freckles. I like to not have so many of them.
Okay, so when you apply your makeup, are you applying it in all the different areas and then blending, or are you just using, like, how do you apply it?
No, I did that. But for me, it didn't feel like it was blending. Like I put on and then it was just like a glob. And then I'm trying to like get it to not be just there, and it just didn't seem like it was.
Were
So
you moving the brush against your skin, or were you just like tapping?
I tried both.
Okay. So whenever you are, so if you have a color that is too light, it's going to look like it's not moving anywhere. Like it's going to look like it is just like getting lighter and lighter and chalkier and chalkier. And if it's too dark, then there's probably too much.
Yeah.
So this is
When I
where,
did that was for my contour. So that's the I had started right here and it was like huge, and then trying to get it to go where I wanted it to.
did you apply it with your fingers?
I didn't.
So when you,
I applied it with this, which it was hard enough getting it on.
so this
Which
is,
I'm not used to this type, so
the contours are a little bit less creamy than the other shades. So like when I go into my contour and my detail brush, I have to kind of like wiggle it in there, like I have to kind of be the boss of it a little bit, and that's how much I get.
like that.
Yeah, like you have to really be the boss of it. That's how much I get. You see, it's not very much, and then I just sweep it on.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I feel like that makes it not blobby, but I like, a lot of people like to use their fingers, but I don't, because I just like it when it's on my brush. But in my contours, I really have to be like like I really gotta like,
Yeah, I feel like I'm not bossing it enough. Hold on.
yeah. So it should only be like just at the little tips. Yeah. And then you just kind of, I usually just sweep it along my forehead as my first whatever.
Um, so see, it's like,
See, you're getting more on your brush. Hold on, let me change this.
sorry. Oh my. That better? I'm also trying to look in my mirror that's right here.
See if I can. Oh, I made a big
Oh,
second. Now you're in front of everyone.
yeah,
Okay,
thanks.
so then blend it back to your hairline. Yeah. Okay, so then so let's say you do this, right? So let's say your contour is just there and you just have your contour on your face, right? And it looks really, really dark. Now apply with the smaller end, use your brightening highlight.
Right, so I've got two. This was the one I tried earlier, but now I'm thinking this one.
Is that Candlelit and Aura?
Candlelight is one of them.
Linen, Aura. Oh,
Versatilis.
Versailles.
English,
It's
English is
French.
not language for me.
French.
And then, oh, that would be why. And yeah, Candlelight. So I've got Candlelight and Versailles.
Okay, so Candlelit and Versailles. So if you're use your Versailles in your T-zone. So the way that I do it is I take the small end of my detail brush and I just kind of like wiggle it in there. And then I put it like this, just kind of like a palm tree leaf right here.
Okay, yeah, you did this.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, so then you can leave that just like that, and you take your main foundation shade and just do like a rainbow right under your contour, so right across like the middle. So
Here.
No, right here on your forehead. I
I
want to work
can't.
on your forehead. Yeah.
So like
Yep.
that.
So it should be contour, foundation, brightening.
That did not. Okay.
Why is my
That. Yeah, I can see it in my.
What other brushes do you have? Just the detail brush?
No. So, and
Oh, the big one. Take
yeah.
this, take the smaller end of the blush and bronzer brush. And then right where you see that contour, just start tapping. But do like little sweeps. So it should look like a little bit like that. Yeah, and then make sure you're doing that all over. So you're kind of tapping and sweeping where that line, where the contour meets your foundation, just kind of do that a lot there. So those will really start to blend really well together. See what I mean? Oh, that looks good.
Yeah, it's starting to go. Oh my gosh, my hair.
It looks really scary at first. Like it always looks super scary. And then as soon as you blend it, yeah, Tiffany said the brushes matter. They really do.
Yeah, I mean, that looks better. And can you, I mean, I feel like I can tell it looks way darker on camera than it does like in my mirror. Because in my mirror, you can't really tell that I have any, but in the camera, you can see it a lot more defined.
Really? Well,
Mm-hmm.
it looks good from here, but like you said, the cameras aren't the best. But if you whenever you're blending, you don't want to like over blend. And I think that sometimes we get like mud on our face, but I think a lot of my customers that I have experienced are like they put it on and they're like, oh, it's too much. And they try to like, and I'm like, no, stop, because then they blend it all away and then it's gone, right? And
Yeah.
also when you're teaching your customers to apply your makeup, when you take your main shade and you put a finger swipe, when you do this on your cheek, just right there, just that one finger swipe, and you blend it, that should cover that whole entire like quadrant of the face.
Like that.
I just
Or
kind of did it like right there on my cheek just to kind of show how much, but yeah. So that should be candlelit. And then just tap it all around whatever color you want, like whatever coverage you want. And you just tap. So you can even take your brush in your candlelit and just tap it a little bit more. And then just kind of add a little bit more and just kind of dust it. Treat it like it's a powder, I guess is a great way to explain it. And when you treat it like it's a powder, sometimes your cream will blend a little bit better if you pretend it's a powder. If we try to pretend like it's a liquid, we're trying to do what liquid does and it doesn't. It does more what
yeah.
So that's a great thing to teach your customers too, is blend it like a powder. And so when they blend into their powder and they tap it onto their face like it's a powder, that's a really great way to kind of teach them how to apply it in a way that works better.
Okay, so which one out of these would you say for here? Would this be to get my nose fine? Because I really want to thin this
Yeah, so
visually.
you can totally use that brush. You can use, I like the smudge brush, which has the dense end. It has the round one, but that multitasker brush is really thin also, so you can use that.
Okay, yeah, I'm tomorrow morning. I have to go to the DMV and get my new license for Maryland. So I want to do a get ready with me live for my DMV photo. So, and I don't want to completely botch it.
No, you should. The only thing is, don't start swirling your makeup because then it'll blend it away. So just make sure that you're tapping because you can see the dimension on your face. Like you can clearly see it. And then when you finish your whole face, you're like, oh, like so, but
Yeah.
sometimes when it gets stuck, like it's a matter of like, sometimes we put on too much because we're not picking it up on our brush, like you said. And so sometimes you can try if it's too, like sometimes I have to, like when I'm in my car doing surveillance, it's a lot warmer, so it's a lot creamier. And so sometimes the temperature makes a difference too. But you can definitely, yeah, this is why I like the smudge brush. So if you want to contour, you can use your multitasker, which is really small, or you can use the smudge brush if you have it. And I just kind of follow that contour and then, yeah, you can totally use that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so it didn't go all day. And thankfully I did it after I got off my live. I did it right after. And because I just like started crying and went and washed my face off. Because I was just I'm
So
sucking.
funny because the same thing happened to me. I was like, oh my gosh. But try it, like keep trying it. You'll see after a few tries, you'll be like, oh, okay. And then try different colors in different areas. Your colors look pretty good. Like from here, they look really good. So just try different brushes, but definitely the tap to blending, and that will get rid of that really sharp like contour line.
Yeah.
But don't give up on it. It really is a little bit of a learning curve, but once you get it, you're like, oh man, I totally get it now. Just try not to be frustrated. We all had to learn, you know, this makeup at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just hard going from like knowing your makeup and then sucking.
Yep. No, that it that's it.
It's
That's
a
it.
hard
It's a lot of people struggle with that because they're like, oh, I'm really good at makeup, but I cannot do this makeup. And it's just, we're just not used to it. Like we're used to having full coverage, and that means layers and layers and layers. And with this, you don't need that. And so it's just a way of like, we're so used to driving in America on the right side of the road, right? And that's just what we do. But if you go to England, you still know how to drive, you still know how to operate a car, but now it's like you have to retrain your brain to do it a little bit differently because now you have to use the left hand and the, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
sometimes it's just a matter of that. So just try not to give up on it and keep practicing with it because I promise it gets easier. I did the same thing. I threw.
Yeah. So I'll try it again tomorrow morning and you'll be able to see how it goes.
Try it with your, if you take the small end, take the small end of that blush and bronzer brush, tap it in your main shade, like your candlelit, and kind of go all over, kind of like you're dusting it all over. And once you apply that kind of all over, like you're dusting it, then go in with your detail brush and you can use your contour and just do a little line and then just little bitty flicks. And so that's something you could try also, is just try different application ways.
Okay.
Yeah. See, now it's
I'm so used to the swiping
Mhm.
or that it's the tapping is like not my hand. It's not natural. It's like
I know it's weird because you're so used to swiping it, but if you can just get in the habit of just like I guess I swipe my contour just in that one line and then I
yeah.
swipe it here. But then when you blend it, you just kind of tap. And even if you blend with this brush, you can still tap it and it'll still blend out.
Yeah. Right.
See,
This
you can
wiper.
already see the definition with your contour. It's just you just get used to it because it's real swipe or no swiping.
Yeah.